Hi, so I'm Caroline, and I actually took the Disposition self-assessment survey, and I strongly agreed with with all of the dispositions because I felt like they were super important to educators in general. I just thought that all of them were so appropriate and that you should want to aim and achieve to get to those. Um, when I was thinking about the ones that I think I already possess that make me a successful teacher, that will make me a successful teacher in the future, I think the first one I thought was the one that stated that educators should be sensitive to individual learning and social needs of students and embrace the cultural diversity of the community. And I think this is important because, well, I think I already possess this because I've really I always am kind of paying attention to people, and I know everyone's going through something different or comes from a different background that makes them who they are, or they might be having a problem right now that you're seeing that's affecting how they're performing, whether that's a student, whether that's a coworker. And I think I'm just very aware of that in my everyday life. So I think that'll come in handy when I become a teacher because I'll be able to take that kind of mindset and just know that everyone's different. Everyone comes from something different, and we'll be able to take that in, and it'll help me in preparing lesson plans and just working with the students in general. Um, the other one I thought was that educators should demonstrate professional friendliness, warmth, and genuine caring in their relationships with others while providing intellectual, emotional, and spiritual support. I think I already possess this too because I'm always very professional, but I genuinely care about everyone. I want to make sure that everyone feels involved and very comforted, and just that they are meant to be here. And if there's someone that's not feeling good, I try to incorporate them into a group, or if they're not part of a group. And I know that can happen a lot, especially in secondary education and high school, when you see some students that just haven't found their niche. And I'm very aware of that. And want to get everyone on the same page. So I think that will help me in being able to see that in a social setting and in an academic setting. I'll be able to just create a better learning environment that will be able to provide that intellectual and emotional and spiritual growth too. So I think those are the two that I felt the best about that I already possess, but I think there's always things that you need to work on, and there were a couple of ones that I really want to keep in the back of my mind as I become a teacher and go through these classes and then eventually start teaching. So one of them is that educators should recognize that reflection combined with experience lead to growth as a professional. And I think we've talked about that in this class, and it's something that I hadn't realized, but um, when you do reflect on something and you write about it or you write it down, it's just so much. You really take the time to think about it. I think you can do experience, 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 but if you're not writing about it and not taking the time to really understand what went right, what went wrong, what you could do better, then it becomes kind of a problem. So I think that's something that I want to keep in the back of my mind. And as I go through this, and as I teach eventually, and as I also just just complete field experience, I want to be able to reflect on it, and I think that'll make me a better teacher and a better educator, and I think it'll be better in my life in general. The other one I think I could improve upon, or just keep in the back of my head, is that educators should promote and support curiosity and encourage active inquiry. And I think in this class, we specifically talked a lot about like creating a well, I felt like I talked a lot about in my discussion posts and things, is just creating a more participatory environment. And so I hope that I can create more of a 21st century classroom that promotes that creativity, that promotes the inquiry. And I think that's something that I want to keep in the back of my head right now, so that when I do become a teacher and when I work on things and I do my student teaching, that I'll have that in the back of my head, and I can, and that'll help the students really in general. And then the last thing about this assignment was just, what does a professional educator look like and how do they behave? And I think about the educators that really made a difference to me in high school, especially. I know I had a chemistry teacher and a math teacher who were just absolutely great. And they all, obviously, they dressed well. They were very put together. They were on top of it. They were always in a good mood, in the mornings, just like no tiredness. Like I'm sure they were tired. Everyone's tired, but just very ready to go, ready to take on the day. But I think what made a difference is they really wanted to know what was going on our weekends. They wanted to, they were at the high school football games. They coached. They ask you about what your social life. They ask you about your, athletics, if that was a big thing. They ask you, obviously, always wanting to make sure that you were academic, but I just thinking being warm, being friendly, being caring, and then just being interested in your students on all aspects of them is the thing that really stood out to me, and that's what I really aim to be as a teacher. And then just what standards, I think that kind of is similar. The standards that guide their thinking and actions are just they want the best for their students. They want them to have a good high school experience because that ultimately shapes, how you're going to be as an adult in the real world. So I think they want them to succeed academically, athletically, in all aspects. And then just trying to create more involvement, create curiosity, do the best at their jobs so that students are interested in learning. I think that's what kind of guides them. So I think this was really helpful because it made me think about what I do well and what I can do better. And I'm excited to put it into practice, and I'm excited, and I think it'll be good to go back to these dispositions because there's something to aim for sure, as I become a teacher. And yep, so thank you so much. Bye.